my guest for today is Hetty. She's the co-founder of the South African largest African print retail brand, P&H Boutique. It's good to have you this evening.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be on your platform, and it's wonderful to have the conversation that we're going to be having this evening.
Okay, so I think it would be nice for us to start around talking about you. I mean, I can imagine that huge, interesting profile of yours, of you getting into the space of South Africa. You have your store across board, and then you happen to be a co-founder of South Africa largest African print retail brand. So how did you come about this? For how long has the business been existing? So it would be nice for you to share that aspect of it, because I know that you're going to have a lot of competitors and many are still struggling to even achieve this milestone that you have achieved.
So essentially the concept of my business started in 2010. 2010 was the year that the FIFA World Cup was in South Africa. It was also the year that I got married as well. So the concept or the idea of the business actually came whilst my husband and I were on honeymoon, funnily enough. So what actually happened is that we were just thinking about our future together. What type of life do we want to live? And we realized that we would like to live a life in which we can actually spend as much time with each other as possible. And at the time, both of us were in corporate jobs. And even though corporate jobs are great, you often find that, you have time deficit. So what we realize is that if we want to have both money and time abundance, we would have to do something different. We would have to create something for ourselves. So we understood then that entrepreneurship would be the path. It was now just a question of determining what vehicle would we use in order to do that. And that's really where P&H Boutique was born. As you say, there are a lot of competitors and different people within the marketplace. We started our business very small. We literally started in the spare bedroom of our home, and we began to grow it from there. It started online, so we didn't have a physical brick and mortar store, and we really built it organically from there. We invested in knowledge, we invested in courses so that we could learn how to grow an online community and tribe of buying audience. Because we realize that it doesn't help to just have followers, but you want to make sure that you've got repeat buyers that come into your business. So we invested a lot in educating ourselves.
So what are the pitfalls for those who want to get into business or for those who are already in business?
I think one of the biggest pitfalls that entrepreneurs have, and it's not only startups, it's sometimes people that are also seasoned, is that they don't have a plan. What is your plan?
Wow.
So a lot of people, we spend time producing our product, perfecting it, making sure that it works perfectly. We spend time refining and perfecting our service. Then we put it out there and nobody knows it exists. And I often say you can have the world's best product or service, but if nobody knows it exists, it's as good as not existing at all. What is your plan? How are you going to get your product or service in front of your customer? How are you going to position your product or service? What tools are you going to use to ensure that you put your product or service squarely in front of a buying audience in the marketplace? What strategies, marketing strategies and advertising strategies are you going to implement? That is actually far more important than the product or service itself, because over years and years of research, it actually has come to be shown that it's not the best product that wins. It's the most marketable product that wins. It's the product that gets itself in front of a buying audience that actually wins. It's not the most innovative people that win. It's the people that know how to position themselves. So what is your plan? spend more time planning, having a strategy, implementing tools, acquiring knowledge, making use of a coach such as yourself, Olatunde Samson, to be able to strategize so well that you're able to position your brand well within the marketplace. And then you will begin to see that the wheels of your vehicle begin to move forward.
Wow, this alone, it's a masterclass, I must say, of helping as many people to understand what they need to know in times like this. So if I want to get my business out there, I'm already in business, or I see a product that I know that is going to be valuable to the African markets, and I want to get my product out there. How do I stand out in a competitive market with my products or services?
I think one of the best ways to stand out in a competitive environment is the power of storytelling. What is your story? Why did you think of this concept? What led you to create this product or this service? Did it come out of a need that you yourself have experienced? For example, did you go shopping and you found that there wasn't beautiful clothing for plus size people? Or were you pregnant and you discovered that maternity wear was just frumpy and not complimentary? Did you go to the store and discover that the makeup that they offered did not suit your skin tone? What is your story? What led you to this particular point? Because it's your story that's going to endear customers to you. It's your story that is going to attract people to your product or service that have had the exact same frustration. When you master the art of storytelling, what it allows you to do is to master the art of telling the story of your products as well. So whenever you have a new product launch, or you decide to expand upon your product, or you decide to improve upon it, master the art of storytelling, because that is what is going to then draw us to you. Now, don't only master the art and keep the story to yourself. Shout it from the rooftop and advertise, put it out there. I say that if Coca-Cola is still advertising, what is your excuse? Make sure that you tell your story and you use it in the form of advertising, both organic and paid advertising, so that you can quickly penetrate into the market and reach as many people as possible.
You have been rated as one of the respected retail brand, African print brand in South Africa. It means that you have gotten a strategy of selling very well. It means you have gotten a strategy of positioning, branding, getting your product out there in the faces of people. So what are the strategies that people can implement in times like this to amplify, to sell more, to get their product out there? I think you should help us with some of these tips.
Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people are afraid to sell. But what they don't realize is that we are always selling, whether you're doing it consciously or subconsciously. The minute you enter into a room, you're already beginning to sell yourself by the energy you bring into the room, who you talk to, how you present yourself. So take action and take power over the selling process. When it comes to selling, do not be afraid of selling your product or service. Understand the advantages of your product or service and find ways in which your customer can relate to you. Also understand the psychology of selling and the buying process. Often at times when we are looking to sell a product, we try to sell it from our perspective. However, what we're supposed to actually be doing is selling from the perspective of the consumer. So try to think of your own buying practices when you are buying. When you're looking to buy a product, you shop around. You might Google the product. You might go onto social media and search certain hashtags. You might even ask a friend if they know where you can buy a certain product. Ask yourself, in that entire buying journey of a customer, when they Google for that particular product, am I placed properly on Google? When they come onto social media and there's hashtags for my product, And will they be able to find me because I'm using the correct hashtags and I've placed myself properly? When they ask for customer referrals, have I asked my customers to tell enough people about my product? So where are you in the buying process and psychology of the consumer when you're trying to buy a product? Position yourself well so that the probability of being found is a lot higher. Do not be afraid of selling, because that is actually the only way that you can sell your product. Do it in a real way, do it authentically, but for goodness sake, do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.